Welcome! Today we will be talking about the Vlax Romani, otherwise known as Gypsies.
Let's take it over to Alex to hear more about this interesting culture.
Thanks, Addie. Today I'll be talking a little bit about the surface culture and history of the Vlax Romani people. Traditional wear for the Romani people consists of colorful dresses for the women and no traditional costume for the men. Contemporary wear, however, still incorporates a wide array of colors, and teenagers casually wear jeans, sneakers, and baseball caps. Because of their possible lineage back to India, the Romani people use a wide array of colorful and strong-tasting vegetables and spices, including chili peppers, black pepper, garlic, lemon, pickles, vinegar, and salt. There are many famous Romani and people with Romani heritage, including Ali Krasniqi, a famous writer and activist, and even Elvis Presley was said to be part Romani.
You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. You ain't gonna...
The main taboos of the Vlax Romani are burdened by the women since it is a patriarchal group. Vlax Romani women are supposed to be careful of what they say and do around men. Women are only to do something if their husband tells them to. If you are offered anything to eat, at least eat a little, since it is extremely rude not to eat anything at all and even consider telling the host that they are unclean. Most likely originating in India, the Romani people arrived in Europe probably around the 12th century, although the first account of the Romani being in Europe was during the 14th century. They were used as serfs during the Age of Fiefdom, and throughout the 15th and 16th century they were expelled from several countries, including Germany, France, England, and Sweden. And like the Jews during World War II, the Germans committed mass genocide against them as a people. The Romani don't really have a government, although they do have older gentlemen that serve as elders. The government in Albania, however, is a parliamentary democracy with a president and a prime minister with a capital at Tirana. In Albania, 12% of children are laborers, 22.5% of adults are unemployed, and 6.8% of the population live in unsanitary living conditions. .3% of Albania's total GDP is spent on education, and 97.6% of the population over 15 are able to read. That's all for me. Back to you, Shane.
Now let's take it over to Addie, who has the latest worldview.
Well, thanks, Shane. But what I've found in my studies is that the dominant culture for the Gypsies in Albania is Islam, but the dominant culture for all Gypsies is Christianity. From information gathered from our interviewee, each Gypsy has a different worldview about themselves and about the world around them. The Gypsy culture also is very patriarchal. The boys sometimes are very disrespectful towards the mothers and other women in the society. Also, the boys are very willing to fight, and that's how they figure out their disagreements. In this culture, the things that they really value are their family. They're always with their family and always surrounded by their family, and it's a very big part of their society. And also, marriage is sometimes arranged. The marriages in the Gypsy culture are very arranged. They're arranged by their parents, and they can get in serious trouble if they're seen with a boy or girl who is not in their arranged marriage. Boys can even be killed, and girls can be beaten. For entertainment, most Gypsies just like to hang out just like you and me. Guys usually spend time at the soccer field playing soccer with their friends, and a lot of times girls drink coffee with their friends and talk and just hang out just like us. Now let's take it back to Shane, who has more information about the surface culture.
Thank you, Addie. Albania is divided into two sections, north and south of the Shkumbin River. In the north is the dialect of the Tosk, and the south is the Geg. Now, predominantly, Tosk is what is spoken, and especially in Tirana and in places like Burrel and other major cities, this is where most of the gypsies in Albania will reside. So for the Tas dialect, words like hello would be Përshëndetje, thank you would be Faleminderit, I am good is Jam Mirë, how are you is Si jeti, God bless you is Zoti të bekoft, yes is Po, and no is Yo. Now a J would be a Y, so in that case, Yo is actually J-O. Now Tosk also relies heavily on Latin as well as Slavic languages, especially from Bulgaria. Because of their contact with Rome, these languages came in, and you also see a little bit of Turkish influence from Turkey. A typical day for a gypsy in Albania is pretty normal. The person will get up and they'll go to work. Now, for people like them, there's really not much to do. A lot of them might go to the roads and try to find a way to get money from either begging or picking up plastics. And really what they live in are plastic huts, and temperatures go really low, especially during the winter, and so the temperatures it's a really brutal environment. And so after they go back home, usually instead of saving their money, they'll want to throw a huge party. So that's why they'll stay in the poverty that they're in, especially because most of them don't desire to actually get an education, and they use the money that they got for their day's wage to have a party that night. Our interviewee explained that for gypsies, there really isn't a typical food for them because they are highly nomadic people. Really, they get what they can. Although a favorite for her would be something like shellfish, or she said she really loves beans, and the innards for a veal, like a calf, and that's what they like to eat. They really don't have any heroes because, like I said before, they were nomadic people. There are no heroes that they really look up to. And as far as sports teams go, they are very, very involved with soccer. About 14% of the population of gypsies participate in soccer. For education, not many of the kids actually pursue education because they figure they're just going to live life, and they're not really concerned with education at all, and that's not really part of what they teach or the culture.
And his name is John C.